One
Yeah,
thing for certain and one thing for sure. The devil is busy.
but he is alive. All
Yes, that he is. That he is. We had a little bit glitch in the matrix, but we got it together.
right,
Me,
boom.
we got a real good one today. Your man Deep Thought cooked up for you. This is shout out to the homie Anton Daniels. He did a little review of these young ladies going over to Mexico and getting the Mexican experience from the actual police. And we're going to go ahead and review that for you. And then also, before we even get started, we want to basically give our resume for you that don't know. The homie is going to go ahead and give a review of what happened to these young ladies from a perspective of a tourist. We're going to give you the whole thing and go through it from a review from a street perspective. That's going to help you guys see it in a whole nother way. Who we got here?
See
We
money.
got Steve Money. What's going on, my baby?
Yeah, you're right. My has been a lot happening.
Yes, it has been too much happening, but we on top of it, man. We on top of it. Sound like I'm getting a little bit of a feedback.
Is it?
You hear it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy, ain't it? It's like a delay or something.
It seems like it's like a little reverb on it. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the show must go on. So, what we're gonna do for those of you that's seeing this for the first time and don't really know who myself and Deep Thought is, we're gonna go ahead and give you some of the resume to let you see that we are an authority on the subject from a street perspective when dealing with Mexico. This right here is a show you can go watch in mine over there on Connect Podcast. I dealt directly with Chapo and the old man from Sinaloa. I worked with three of the actual cartels over there in Mexico: the Tijuana, the Tijuana, the Juarez, and the Sinaloa cartel. These right here are my books. These are the 3 volumes that you can purchase, and you can hear all about my story of my I guess my Indiana Jones interpretation of what happened to me over there and what I experienced. So that right there lets you know that we know what we're talking about. And let me give you a clip of the actual show that I did over there on Connect Podcast. So as we go through this review of the homie Anton Daniels show, you can understand and know we know what we're talking about. Here we go. Chapo starts to tell me that he only dealt with one other black guy. And I can't remember what he said, the 90s or when. He said he dealt with one other black guy before. The black guy never cheated him. He said they did real good work, but then he just up and disappeared. He said he didn't owe him no money. He just disappeared. He never seen him. And he said that was the only black guy that he worked with. You're not going to disappear on me, are you? Like that. And I'm like, no. I'm going to say yes. Listen, let me tell you something, my friend. I need you to know this. He said that at the end, this right here, he did it. He said must always end up in the hand of a black man.
What?
The cocaine must always end up in the hand of a black man.
What did you think he was trying to tell you?
It meant a whole lot more to me later. What he was telling me is that you are the most important variable. And if I have a direct link with you like I had with the other black guy that I worked real good with, we made plenty of money. So he's giving me a history. I have worked with somebody black, so me and you could work together. And basically saying this guy made a lot of money and he just left. And I want you to know at the end, you are the most important variable because you have access to the market. So there you go. You see it for yourself. Now we're going to go ahead and move on this app and get off into it. Here we go.
My friends and I were robbed at gunpoint by Mexican police. As you may or may not know, this past weekend was my bachelorette trip. We were going out, we were heading out for a night out at the club. We decided to go to Sick in Tulum, and we had an amazing time at this place. I will say, Please excuse me, I just woke up and this is something that I've been wanting to talk about since we've been there, but just didn't want to because I didn't want the wrong person to stumble across this video. And I didn't know what could have escalated from that point. Now, my sister-in-law was driving the truck. We rented 2 trucks, and she was driving the truck. We got pulled over. We pretty much was in this like really, really dark alley on the way home, and we saw flashing lights before we even got to the point where the flashing lights were. We were like, okay, the police are.
I never rent a car when I'm in another country. I always just get either an Uber or I just get a driver.
Now, this is important to note. What these young ladies did, they entered into another country just because they had to go across the border and was thinking that it was America. And that's not the case. It's a total different experience when you go over there into Mexico. It's important to know what territory you're in and what part of Mexico, because there are different cartels that, you have to follow me with that word, that runs particular parts of Mexico. And there are cartels that don't allow for people to be robbed, kidnapped, and extorted and things of that sort. But then there are other ones that do allow it. Because whoever performs any type of illegal activities in certain areas, they have to give a kick up to the cartel. That includes the police. So if the police are out robbing and things of that, depending on the volume, that has to be kicked, a percentage of that has to be kicked up to the cartel, because the cartel has control of that area. And when I say control of that area, I mean official control of that area. That area is called the plaza. And when you control the plaza, you control all illegal activity within that plaza. If any other cartel wants to come through that plaza with anything that doesn't belong to you, they have to pay, I guess, since the word Trump's been using, like a tariff or a tax in order to come through your territory. So these women, being civilian women, they're not understanding, and they think they can go over into Mexico and turn up.
Yeah, like it's a lack of understanding that you're entering not only a different location, but a different culture.
That part. What you got here, Miller? Trump done fucked up. Yeah. I can't argue with that one. I can't argue what else you got. Oh, it's all good, baby. I appreciate it. Actually, man, you chopped it the other day. You hit me up on one of the things I posted. I'm happy that you was able to pull up. And I know you've been wanting to hear some of this other kind of shenanigans. So we on it today, baby. We're going to represent, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about it. So I'm happy to see you can pull up, bro. For real, for real. Okay, now we're going to slide on this next one. Like I said, we're going to give you the street perspective of over there. Anton, the homie, is going to give you the civilian review of how civilians go over and do things. But since we've seen it from a whole nother perspective, we're going to give it to you from that perspective. And I got a few stories to tell you as well. Here we go.
What's going on? So they stop us and pretty much ask my sister for her ID. Luckily, she does speak Spanish, and she can also understand it. So this really, really saved us. Pretty much took her driver's license, looked over into the car, and we were in a like 8-seater Suburban. Had the 2 front seats, of course, the 2 rows, and then we did also have that it was 10 of us in the 8-seater Suburban. They pretty much tried to say that there was too many of us in the car. Mind you, if you're ever in Mexico, you know that you see a lot of people passing you up. They're in trucks, they're stacked in the back, they're stacked in the front, they're packed in the back seat. But we in this 8-seater nice Suburban, and yes, we are packed.
What'd you say about that thought?
Okay, so let's just say in America, you in a really nice vehicle in a really bad neighborhood, and you happen to be slightly breaking the law, and the boys whip over. How you think that's going?
You know what? I'm gonna touch on that Pettis thing because I've been telling you that. I'm gonna touch on it today before we get off, but I'm gonna actually do a show on it. But I'm gonna tell you something about because I've been told y'all gonna do that. So I'm gonna
Yeah,
tell
for
you
sure.
something today, but I'm gonna actually do a show on it too. Percy, if you in a nice car in a bad neighborhood, you're gonna be targeted. To follow up on what you said, thought.
Exactly. So yes, is it a petty infraction? For sure.
And the thing about it is good that you made the point that you made about if you in a nice car in a bad neighborhood, because that's the exact analogy. You in a nice car in an impoverished country, and you showing off, because that's how they look at it over there. Prime example: we're in over in Juarez, and we go to a strip club over there. I think the name of the strip club was called the La Mosca or something like that. We're in there, we're enjoying ourselves, and we're having a good time. I think I just put up a couple of clips on that old video I did. And what did they Lomax was jumping up. We up in the balcony. He's throwing money down on the stage. And Danny, who was our representative over there, trying to stop him, Lomax didn't want to listen. And he came to me looking frantic and scared. Please, please stop him. Hermano, please, please stop him. I had to go stop Lomax. And so I'm asking him why. He said, listen, you can't do that here. Because if you do that here, the rest of the guys in here are going to think that you're basically saying that they don't have no money and they can't do it too. And that you're better than them. You see what I'm saying? So how we look at things over here is totally different how they may look at things in another area. One particular time when in a club, I'm sitting down and I got my heels on the floor as I'm sitting back and the bottom of my feet up. They told me I couldn't do that. I said, why? He said, because you see them guys over there that are looking over here? I'm like, yeah. He said, you're showing them the bottom of your shoe. You're basically telling them they're lower than your shoe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people don't
So
understand that in cultures, different acts mean different things, and they're
the
highly
culture,
disrespectful.
the culture. So you coming over, 8 black females, and you coming over in a Suburban. Over there at that time, if anyone had a new car, they were considered rich. Because over there at that particular time, if you wanted a new car, you had to put half of the money of the value of that car down to get finance for the other half, if not buying it in cash. They don't know nothing about financing over there because they can't finance the way we finance here. So those police officers got a problem with you doing that as well. They feel that you're showing off. So yes, they're going to rob you. Now, here's another thing. She said, thank God my girlfriend knew how to speak Spanish. That was one of the worst things for you. Because the
Mm-hmm.
Spanish that we learn here is not the Spanish they speak over there. We speak a proper Spanish. The Spanish we speak is more like the Spanish they speak in Colombia. And the Spanish they
Or
speak in
Spain.
Colombia is almost identical to the Spanish they speak in Spain. The Spanish they speak in Mexico is more like an Ebonics of the actual true Spanish. So that's another thing. You speaking that Spanish that they probably can barely understand. They thinking you better than them. So yes, they're going to rob you. And what does she do? It's 8 of us in the truck. That's not illegal over there, technically. Because as she said, they be piled in there. Over there, there are no bus systems like it is here. Anybody can buy a school bus and drive a certain route. People will pay you to get on. They be hanging out the windows, hanging out the entrance parts because it be so packed and the whole nine. And they never get pulled over for it because they're extremely poor. So she's correct about that. But here's the thing. You're not from there. And you're thinking in terms of over here, if they can do it, why can't I do it? Because in America, that's how it's perceived. Over there, it's not like that. So your girl speaking Spanish, and you're going to see in a minute where the actual mistake comes. So we're going to slide on to the next one without me bearing down too heavy on this. But here we go.
Most people know this. Very few people understand it, that you don't go off of the resort or the reservation a lot of time. And I don't know why y'all keep going to Tulum and y'all keep getting y'all head cracked over and robbed by the police and stuff. Meanwhile, they sitting there complaining about the police inside of the United States of America that wear body cameras, neither here nor there. But you don't go off the reservation unless you actually have somebody that can take you where you need to go. It's almost like you got to get a hood pass when you're in these other countries, especially over in Mexico. I don't know why y'all think y'all safe. Y'all renting cars. Y'all acting like y'all here inside of the United States of America. You think that you're being done an injustice. You don't have when you go into a different country, you have to basically assume the worst and protect yourself with everything that you got in you. As a matter of fact, a lot of times when I go to other countries, even when I go to places that's super safe, like Tokyo, at first I try to understand all of the laws, not like we doing anything that's out of control anyway. I understand all of the laws. I understand the culture. I research and I do extensive research and I read and look at everything that I can look at about the culture. I look at where to go.
Now, what he's giving you is totally correct. The homie's giving it to you totally correct. And with him saying the hood pass, that's how you explain it over here. And some of you might understand you go to LA and the whole thing where you had to check in and all that stuff. Over there's the bartel. And they have control of that certain area. You're women, which that's not a good thing over there. And in a lot of countries, you don't have no male with you. You're going to be targeted. And when you're on a resort over there, they tell you stay on the resort or eat on the resort. But that lets you know, because I'm not sure what cartel controls that area over there, or bartel. That particular bartel allows that to happen. Because in most cases, around certain areas like that, where there's resorts at, the bartels don't allow that because a lot of the bosses are invested in those areas.
Facts.
And they make sure that you're safe. But in
And
that particular,
proof,
go ahead, start.
and the proof of that is when those bartels get into flare-ups with each other, they start attacking each other's properties. And you'll see things like, oh, why is there crime in Cancun or something like that? It comes from those conflicts, not just random acts of violence.
That's important to know as well. And what these young ladies didn't know, and what you're going to see as we continue to go, that they had a certain protection. But I ain't going to say nothing too much. We're going to slide on this next one so we can go a little deeper into it. Here we go.
And most of the times I go into places that are for tourists, has a robust public transportation system and or an easy way for you to access drivers and stuff. And then I get familiar with you know what I'm saying, with what's happening in that space, so that I'm not caught out there because you're so far away from home and their laws are not like what we got over here inside of the United States of America. But let's continue.
So he begins to make up shit out his ass from this point. He pretty much was like, he's gonna tow the car, he's gonna take all of us to jail, and yeah,
Or
like that was gonna happen regardless of what we could prove, the paperwork we had, all of that. He was like, he's gonna give us a fine. Like, the fine for this was like some crazy amount of money, like all of this stuff. And at this point, my sister-in-law is like clocking it. Like, she like, okay, they want money. So as he's talking, she reaches in her pocket and she gives him like $60, all the cash that she had. And she's like, sir, like, this is all I have. Like, can you please take this? Like, we're literally 5 minutes away from our Airbnb. 5 minutes away. I'm not kidding. 5. So he ended up pretty much saying, he giving the money back. He like, no, this is not enough. So he telling her that this is not enough money. We like, well, this is all we have. Like, because yes, some of us did carry.
Okay. What the homie is telling you is absolutely right. Now, about public transportation and all that, that's absolutely correct. But what does that tell you? I told you already about them not having an actual bus system over there and things of that sort, how people can just buy old school buses and just start to drive the route and make money. Okay. There's speed bumps everywhere because everybody speeds. Don't nobody hardly got license plates on their car. And don't nobody stop at no stop signs, any of that. That's why the speed bumps. And if you think you got speed bumps over here, these speed bumps over here are nothing to the speed bumps over there. Over there, you're going to slow down or you're going to tear the suspension and everything under your car up to slow you down. And they're every so many feet. It's not spread apart like it is over here. Okay, so by him saying that, the importance of him saying that is to let you know that there is a municipal structure around those areas. And if you don't have that public transportation system and all that, you might as well say that's the Wild West. You see what I'm saying? So it's important to understand that. Now, these ladies made a big mistake. You've seen a lot of them were talking. You've seen a lot of them were talking. Oh, girl, she start clocking it. That stuff don't work over there. You clocking it, and then you went in your purse to gain $60.
Yeah.
They not paying attention to you. They paying attention to all 8 of y'all. All 8 of y'all gonna give up something. And that's where they made the mistake. And here's the thing, clocking it. First of all, at that point, you're in trouble because everybody's talking. There should only be one person talking. I'm gonna give you a story about that. But what should have been done when you got pulled over, the driver should have handed out a license or some type of card with some folded up money behind it. The officer would have took the card, act like he's looking at the card. He'd have felt the money, then it'd have seen how much money it is, and then the negotiation process would have started. But by everybody talking, because nobody don't understand how it go, then the price starts to go up. Because if you would have did it that way, then they know you understand the process. By you not understanding the process, the pulling out the handcuffs and all that was doing nothing but scaring you. This is why I said her homegirl speaking Spanish did not do good for them. Because the type of Spanish she speaks is a proper Spanish. In Mexico, it's more like an Ebonics form of Spanish. And you in this truck, y'all got jewelry or whatever, they already got an attitude and they looking to make some money. Here's another thing. Only one person talks. No one else talks because you don't know how it's going to go. The benefit that they had is that they're American citizens. There's no officer or anyone inside of Mexico that wants a problem with the American embassy about their citizens. That's one thing good about being an American. When you go somewhere, don't nobody want a problem with you. because you are American property pretty much, and American gonna come see about you.
Yeah.
They don't want no problem with America. They don't want to come to no America prison because according to them, you come to America to die. So that's a benefit, but they did not know, and running their mouth didn't help. Let me give you a story. I'm with the chief. Don't know what state I'm in over there in Mexico, but we're deep off in Mexico. We're riding in the Chief's 5 Series BMW. We get pulled over on the freeway. Now, what I'm saying is for educational purposes. For educational purposes. We get pulled over. The Mexican state trooper come up to the car, and he's talking to the chief. I'm sitting in the back seat with another gentleman, which is one of the chief bodyguards, and the chief main bodyguard. If you get my book, you'll see in that book he's named Ball. Ballhead's in the back with me, and Junior, which is the chief's main bodyguard, is in the front seat with him. Usually we have a detail, but this particular time we didn't have a detail, security detail. So I'm asking Ballhead, like, what's going on? What's wrong? He's not talking to me. But I look at his hand is on the side, and I see something shiny reveal itself. So I know what time it is. But my dumb butt still asking him what's going on, and he doing like this. Shaking his head for me to shut up. So the actual state trooper goes back to the car. He has one of the guys in there called the chief of the state troopers down there. The guy comes back because come find out the car we in was tagged. So they tried to make the Joker an offer. He didn't want that. He wants to go another route. So he goes back to his car again. They get back on the phone with the chief. The chief end up calling him. He's not answering. He goes up to the car, back to talk to the chief. And next thing you know, you hear a voice coming across his radio screaming. He starts to answer, going back and forth. And then he just threw the chief's paperwork in the car and went back in his squad car and just sped off. So there's an order to how things go over there. And you have to know that order. These young ladies did not know that particular order. And the whole thing is that the bartail I was with had owned that plaza and could operate in that plaza. That also include vehicles being tagged and all that stuff too. Another thing, if they were operating right, they should have handed the officers what they needed, and the officers would have gave them a number or a code. What do I mean by that? Whenever they pull you over and shake you down, they give you a number or a code for that day. You can run red lights, you can do all kind of stuff, and you won't get another ticket that day. But I've been talking too long. Let's slide on this next one.
We just was like, bro, like y'all literally drive fucking with us. Like we're 5 minutes away. Like we're not saying this, but we're all understanding. Like we're all feeling the same way. So my sister-in-law is like, no, this is all we have, yada yada yada, whatever. Now at this point, I did start recording, and I did not know that there was an officer behind me when I started recording. They had their guns drawn on me, and started taking out their handcuffs and was like, we're about to take you to jail. So they're about to arrest me. I'm literally pleading for my life. I'm like, please.
And I'm wondering, also, were they that docile?
Well, those are black women, so you know they wasn't that docile. Another thing, they're thinking they're in America. You're recording.
Yeah.
You're not in America. You know what I'm saying? When in Rome, do as the Romans do. Or either, as the homie said, find out about where you're going and don't just go over somewhere not knowing where you're going. Did you say something?
Facts. I was just saying that whipping out your phone and recording, although it may be legal you don't know what's going on. Over there, if you're taking pictures of police, it may be for nefarious reasons. That's why you see a lot of the federal police over there with face masks on because of potential retaliation. And they're seeing nice vehicle, attitudes, could be anything.
But they don't know. In a foreign country, operating as if they're in America. Let's slide on this next one.
That docile, where they just chill and relax, and then maybe they were, but I'm just asking a question. Were they this docile and chill and relax and wasn't causing no problems, didn't have anything negative to say, wasn't talking back, wasn't none of that? Was it just completely cool? Oh my God, sir, this is all that we have. Oh no, why you got guns? Like I just want to know the whole story, and I'm asking myself the
Is picking with us. They went as far as popping the trunk, taking everybody's wallet. They literally went through all of our wallets one by one. Like, one by one. Of course, they found cash. They took all the cash that we had. I mean, luckily, a lot of us didn't bring too much cash. They only took like $200 something. But they were asking initially for like $1,000 or $500 or something like that. And we was like, no. So yeah, they're pretty much about to arrest me. My sister's like, please, like she didn't know she was recording, like I'm crying, like my friends in the back, like we're all going fucking crazy, we're going nuts, like literally scared for our fucking lives.
Again, everybody running their mouth. And then let me break something down for you. Out of all 80 y'all got $200 and something. And they looked at y'all like, hold on, we was trying to get 1,000.
Exactly. You had it. They like big new Suburban. Yeah, looking nice. You're obviously down here on vacation.
Y'all, no
I
disrespect.
know you got some money. You're looking like a lick.
Y'all hoes broke. What? No disrespect to nobody.
That's why they went through everything after they only got them couple of dollars. They're like, stop playing.
Yeah, we know y'all got some money somewhere else. And threatening pulling out keys and opening trunks and all that. Yeah. Trying to make y'all not knowing that y'all broke. Y'all ain't got no damn money. Y'all down here fronting, and half the shit y'all got is on credit. They don't know nothing about no damn credit, so they mad. You didn't waste our goddamn. We didn't call our homeboys over here from another district and all that. We got
like, we about to shake down some rich Americans, and y'all ain't even rich.
And now we gonna get $20 a piece. What the fuck? They mad. Hold on, we gotta comment. Oh, well, see money. Yeah, man, they mad. They are upset. We didn't pull y'all over and waste our time. We knew we least had. We knew we had 1,000, 1,500 coming.
You was lick. They were so upset. They were so disappointed.
It reminded me, and I'm not glorifying nothing negative, but I'm just giving an example. It reminds me of this young lady was telling me that her mom was out real late. This was back in like the 90s, catching the bus. And a guy walks up and, whipped out pew-pew on her to commandeer what she had. She only had $20. He looked and say, you only got $20? He say, he looked at a woman. He say, fuck you doing out this late with only $20? He got upset. He the one accosting her, but he get insulted because she only got $20. My point is, that's equivalent to what they was doing. We thinking we got a lick, and you hoes ain't got no goddamn money. And then he went through each one of our purses and whatever.
He could not believe y'all, all 10 of y'all, only had $200.
But here's the thing. They're so detached from reality that we grew up with. They've never been in that situation before. Because when you've been in that situation, you know the protocol.
Right.
They're going through everybody's pocket.
Okay.
They're going, that's the protocol. But you are appalled, like, they went through all of our persons. That's part of the process.
Right. I was like, so they don't do that no more? I'm like, what you need?
What up, dope boy?
You know. What you mean?
But
she was like,
that just,
each one of them, I'm like, so you ain't ever been patted down and searched before? Like, that's wild.
But that just lets you know how they're so detached from what we grew up with. We know the protocol. They didn't know the protocol. They were offended. They're picking on us. No, they're robbing you.
Yeah.
That's part of the process. Not saying that anyone approve of it. That's just what y'all were going through. But it was so foreign to you, and none of you had even been through or heard of anyone going through nothing like that before. You know what I'm saying? But let's slide on this next one. I don't know. Did I push this one already? If I did, I'm just going to skip and go to the next one.
Docile, or they just...
Like, he took my phone from me and he deleted the video. And then as that happened, he pretty much put the gun on me again. And he was like, no, you didn't delete it. Like, you know, and then he was like, oh, did you recently delete it? He took my phone again. He went to my recently deleted. He deleted everything from my recently deleted. Like, y'all, this was just so traumatizing. Like, this is my bachelorette trip. We're in Mexico. We're all girls. They literally took advantage of us. They knew that we were fucking helpless. Like, they knew that no man was out there to help us. Like, but I would just say, like, I'm so happy that we were able to drive away from that. Like, it was so many times my sister-in-law was like, she just wanted to drive off and just like say fuck it, but she thought that they were gonna shoot up the car. Like, y'all, we were 5 minutes away from the Airbnb.
She said her sister-in-law was about to say F it and drive off.
Because that would have de-escalated the situation for sure.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Basically, she's about to leave off. She's about to leave off and head for the border. No disrespect with the language, I'm just saying. But listen here. She said the most important thing, and we got a few more videos that's going to take you directly into that. We did not have a man with us. You're not in America. The man is the most important variable in a lot of these countries. If you would have had a man in the vehicle with you, that's who they would have talked to. And they wouldn't have went through all them changes of trying to scare you, intimidate you, and all that. They would have naturally talked to the man, because that's how it goes. I've told you in a number of my videos before. When you're over there and you're in restaurants, there are no female waitresses. They're all men. It's a male-dominated society. Now, we're not going to get into the right and wrong of it. That's just the way it is. It's another country. Like a lot of women go over there to Dubai and all those male-dominated countries. Women over there getting loud with police officers and get tightened up or locked up. You're not allowed to, because there's a male-dominated society. My bad thought.
No, but that's exactly right. Like, we're so comfortable in America that we assume the entire world is like this. It is not.
It's not.
It is not.
It's not. It's not
and
at all.
Just because Mexico is right across the border does not mean it's America. It is not.
You are in another country. And take it from me, I know. I don't know how many stories. Listen, going over there, going in the clubs over there, and seeing the men as women walk through the club, like, I mean, some of the things they were doing, I don't want to get too graphic on here, were touching and grabbing, sticking their hands under this and that. I'm like, man, I'm scared. Oh, no problem. If we do that's common over here, my friend. Don't worry. Don't worry. You like a grabber. No.
Right. The case where we from.
They were laughing at me. They were literally laughing at me. I mean, like, busting gut laughing, bent over laughing. Because I wouldn't touch and I wouldn't, which we about to show y'all something on that. But let's slide to this next one.
What I'm going to say is stop going places and not having a man with you. That's another thing that just baffles me, because I don't even like when women most of the time travel, within the United States of America with just women or by themselves. It's not safe. Y'all in a whole nother country with only women around y'all, and you think that that's cool, you think that it's safe. That's not going to play well for you. It never does. It can't. It won't, and it's always going to go negative against you. But, y'all keep going over there to Mexico thinking shit sweet. And that's funny because we listen to this story, yet we see people protesting that was protesting on behalf of Mexico here inside of the United States of America.
Now, Percy, stick with me. I'm going to go ahead and go through some of that Pettis thing in a minute, right at the end of this. But what the homie is saying right here is official, like an NBA referee with a whistle. Most of our women over here, if a man approached them, they automatically turn to alpha female. They're used to being able to deal with the male directly. If the male show a bad attitude, they can show it back. Over there, no.
Do not.
Other countries, no. You don't get no respect. You don't have no rights because you're not a male. And I'm not saying this, please understand. I'm not saying this to say nothing about women that believe standing up for themselves, or whatever the case may be. But there is a culture over here that protects and allow that. When you step outside of this country, that is not the case. And it's protected by law. The same way you can do that over here is protected by law, over there is vice versa. Other countries is vice versa. We're about to show you the president of Mexico right now and allow you to see something. And I'm sure it's going to shock you because and this just happened with the president of Mexico. And I'm happy that homie Anton decided to do something on this and sent it to me. I've done some videos about some Anton stuff before, and I'm conservative, he's conservative. Some of our views are somewhat different, but at the end of the day, he's a homie. In Detroit, that's what we own. We fuck with homies. We don't really go off in that crazy shit on homies for the most part. Some dudes do what they do, but I'm old school. That's the way I always was. That's the way I always brought. You a homie, you a homie. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, I believe the homie intentions is good, even though he may see some things a little bit different. But that's beautiful because that begins the conversation. You know what I'm saying? So let's slide on this next one. But he was spot on with this one, and thought wanted to jump in on it because we could give a street perspective to it, to fill in the parts that he didn't necessarily get. Well, she was still on point, but how he do things and what he notices to be red flags, we're explaining why he's correct, because this is usually what's on the other end of that no municipal transportation and things that to move around is usually for a reason. Okay, now let's slide on this next one to bring it into perspective. Here we go.
About wars. We talk about economies rising and falling. Those stories usually make our lead, but tonight the top story is different. And we believe it should be, because it begins with these pictures from Mexico. These are pictures of Claudia Sheinbaum, the first woman president of Mexico. The president was out in public. She was interacting with her supporters, even clicking selfies with the people. It's something she has long done. And then it happened. A drunk man forced himself towards her. At first, she did not notice. Then he leaned in. He tried to kiss her and even groped her. Her security finally intervened. They pulled him away. The man has since been arrested. The Mexican president says she will press charges.
You seen that, right? And that's the president. She had to grab his hands because you could see what his hands was doing and all what he was doing. That is normal. in Mexico. It's sad, but it's the truth. And then women didn't go through a lot. They got robbed, yes, but they didn't go through a lot of that because they were American citizens.
Exactly.
You complain about America, and I complain about America too sometimes. Even though the reason I went to prison, they was right. They wasn't lying on me. I did every goddamn thing they said I did. Actually, they left some shit off. You know what I'm saying? But they didn't understand the protection, because if you're an American citizen, nobody's going to fuck with you. That don't mean you won't go to jail, but they know somebody's going to come see about you because you are American property. And Americans come see about theirs. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only reason they probably didn't get felt up and some of everything else done to them. Okay? And you about to see an example of other countries. But if that is a precedent of Mexico, the highest office in the country, and you had a regular drunk dude doing that, that means he didn't care because she was the president, because they view women a certain kind of way culturally.
Facts.
And that's what must be understood. You know what I'm saying? It has to be understood. Now, I'm going to slide on this next one. We only got like 2 more. Then I'm going to go into that Pettis thing for Miller. I've been promising him for a minute. Even though I'm going to do a show on it too, Miller. Hold on.
Let's pause here for a second. This is the president of a country, a head of state, a woman who has shattered political glass ceilings. Yet, she was sexually assaulted in public, in broad daylight, surrounded by cameras with her security and supporters around. She can be the leader of her country, but a man still thought her body was public property. And kudos to President Sheinbaum. She was remarkably composed.
Even though this is a crime, then what position does that leave all Mexican women in? If they do this to the president, then what will happen to all the young women in our country? So it has to. It's with the Attorney General's office in Mexico City because this is a local jurisdiction crime. I filed a complaint. It turns out this person later went on to harass other women right there on that same street. So this person is now under arrest.
He went on to do it to other women. Why? Because it's part of the culture. I'm not disrespecting nobody's culture. I'm not trying, but we're trying to speak to our women. We're trying to speak to our men over here in this country to understand, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. As the homie Anton said, be aware of where you are. Do the research. Know where you're going. Know if there's public transportation thing. If there's no public transportation and structure around that tourist site, don't go off. Because most likely, there's a reason why. There is no structure around there, and you have all types of different personalities around there. I had to learn going to Mexico, because whenever I would go over there, not to be too derogatory, I would always get like diarrhea going over there. You know, I even caught parasites one time and had to be rushed back over here. And if I wouldn't have got over here in time, the parasites would, well, not parasites, but that's what it was. They'd have ate my entire, I had to wear a bag the rest of my life from eating out of taco stands off the street. And I had to learn that their system could handle more than our systems could over there, because they're used to certain type of things over there, not to speak bad about nobody. So I had to learn to only eat at 5-star or 4-star places. You couldn't get the real Mexican experience over there. And I had to also learn, because the diarrhea wouldn't go away, that when you go over there, they tell you don't drink the water. But I had to learn another thing, because when I would get my sodas, I would get what? Ice. Soda. You can't get ice in the soda. You just have to get the soda. And then I started noticing I wasn't running off no more like that. So like I said, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. You must know certain things within the culture. You know what I'm saying? So that's the whole point with with that. I got one last thing I want to show you, because I want to show you this is not exclusive to just Mexico. Check this out, and then I'm going to go into the Pettis thing.
Here's more for you. In 2021, a British woman named Sarah Everard never made it home from a friend's house. Her murderer was a police officer. In India, a rape is reported every 16 minutes, 1 in every 16 minutes. In France, more than 80% women, more than 80% women say they face sexual harassment in public spaces. In Japan, groping incidents are so common on trains that there is even a word for it. It's called chikan. The world over, 1 in 3 women aged 15 or above have experienced physical or sexual violence. Think about every third woman you know. Every hour, 5 women are killed by an intimate partner or family member.
This is important. Hold on for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this is for educational purposes only. This is for educational purposes only. And it's to give a perspective. The homie Anton gave a perspective, but we're giving it from a whole nother perspective of experience from the street from over there. But this is showing you that it's just commonplace. It's just not Mexico. You seen that when the video first started, it talked about a young lady over in London. What happened?
Yeah.
Just imagine a spot over in Mexico with all men and these all women over there. We didn't see women of color lately go over to places and not come back. And so come on, people. We got to think about that and stop thinking that what you experience here in America, you're going to experience everywhere else, especially if you are a woman. Especially if you are a woman. So that's where we want to stay. You got anything you want to add before I go into this Pettis thing? Thought?
No, but like that was like in the video when she spoke about what happened in India. Like India is notorious for mistreatment of females.
And listen, in Japan, you seen what it said, or Tokyo, what you seen that, and they got pornos, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
With
About that.
on subways and that type of thing
Yeah,
in
exactly.
pornos. So she said they had a special word for it and thing, and that's real, just from the pornos.
Yeah,
and you heard what she said.
Yeah, that's a part of their culture. Like it's
part of the weird, right? For us.
Yeah.
But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. Like I always try to tell American females that American men are, for the most part, civilized savages. How they call us, oh, you guys, da 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 da. I get what you're saying, but compared to the rest of the world, you got a pretty soft existence here.
Okay, Miller, you still out there? Percy, you still out there? I hope you're still out there. Here we go. And if you're still out there, I know you waited all the way to the end of this. I can't remember what year this was, but this was before the war really kicked off over there in Mexico. This wasn't long after Mario Nunez Mesa, after he split from the Warriors Bartel and linked up with the Sinaloa Bartel. I was in Atlanta. I was in Atlanta. I hope person's still out there. I was in Atlanta, and actually, my producers were working on that record that brought Britney Spears' career back, the Womanizer record. And my producer team was called The Outsiders. And I got a call from over there telling me that they needed me to come cross. Now, I'm down there in Atlanta. I have a lot of work, and if those that know, they know what work means. And I'm like, hold on. I got work in Atlanta, and I had work also in Detroit as well. And usually whenever I'm called across, I'm not called across while there's still work out, but they told me it don't matter. They need me to come across. So I had to fly back. Well, actually, I drove that night back up to Detroit and caught a plane down to Mexico. Let me think. Okay, but at this point, I couldn't land in El Paso and then go across. I had to fly off into Mexico, and I had to fly to I'm trying to think. I believe I flew into Mexico City, Mexico, because at that point, Sinaloa could not come up close to the border because Juarez had pushed them back off. So it was not safe for me to cross through. So I had to fly down into Mexico City in order to get down there. So I got down there, and no, I didn't fly into Mexico City. I flew into another city over there. I can't remember the name. I wouldn't know how to pronounce it anyway. But anyway, I ended up getting with the chief. We drove from there. We drove to Mazatlán, which is a town right off the, I think, the Pacific. And we spent the night there. And then we drove, it's like 4.5, 5 hours through the mountain. They call that mountain, they call it the Devil's Spine, because the mountain is just like drive through the mountains like this for 4.5, 5 hours, just like that. And it's only one, it's a 2-lane road, but one lane going up, one coming down. You got cows on the road, chickens, all kind of stuff. And these bends that you making as you go up and go around these mountains, they hard. Like you make one go around, then you come right around like this. And so it's nothing to see semis that then fell over off on the mountain. There's no rails on the other side to guard you if you go a little too far off. Your ass roll down the mountain. You see what I'm saying? And at that time, they got a bridge down her. But at that time, it's not a person know if you coming. They let family know on the other side, I'm coming over. If you don't come in so long, they send a search team out to look for you because they know you didn't fell over on the other side. Or you know what I mean? So anyway, we drove through there, and we drove through there to Culiacan. We're over there in Culiacan, and this was like the meeting of all meetings. You had the Beltran Lever brothers there. You had La Barbie that was there. You had, because Sinaloa is a federation of a number of other cartels. So this was like a big convention meeting where all your bosses were there. And this is when the meeting, they decided to escalate the war. Okay. And this is all in my book. Let me go ahead and show this too while I'm going through this. This is all in my book. This is on Amazon. And you can get it on audio because it's a long book. These are different volumes. You can get it on audio where you can listen to it or whatever the case may be. Okay. Now, when we get over there, every morning we would get up and we would ride into town, right into town in Culiacan. And they had like an apartment complex there that the most important building got like walls around. So we'll pull up, security all outside, all that. But as we pulled in, our security fell back to protect the perimeter. Then you go through another level of security. The gates you had to go through were some big steel gates. They pull them back. We pulled up on the inside. On the inside, this apartment thing may have been like 8 to 10 apartments on the inside of it. But it was all Bartell associates up in here. So we go up to the top room, apartment, big open space, but there's chairs sitting around in a circle. So I sit down, a few other people sit down, everybody's talking or whatever. And that's when I end up seeing La Barbie. I didn't know he was La Barbie then, but I found out later when I see the picture that it's La Barbie. He came in with a backpack. He had a backpack. Okay. He come in talking with a few people. And Mexican guys aren't like the ones we see over here. Mexican guys are smaller dudes. So, and they all wore these real tight t-shirts and felt they were big. But when they walked in and seen me, they idea of big wasn't big no more. And not because I had muscles, I was fat as I don't know what, but you know. So anyway, this is when I seen him. It was another day we came over and we were taken through the, well, marijuana's legal word, marijuana fields down there in Durango. Because if you go in Durango, the old man runs all of Durango. You can actually smell it in the air. It's so much. But you will see corn, right? But once you get off in there, once you go in, which I did, like about 20 layers in of corn, is nothing but marijuana as far as your eyes can see. You can see as you looking, you can see the land bending like this. You know what I'm saying? So we left from there, and I didn't know I was going to the marijuana field. Listen, I had on a raw silk, money green outfit on some Detroit, and I had on rubber sole green Maury Gator shoes. Okay, so I was totally out of place, right? So we get back to the little apartment thing that I'm telling you about. We standing in a circle. It's me, Lomax, it's Chief Mario Nunez Mesa, his bodyguard, Junior Ballhead to interpret for us, a few other people. And then you had some other bosses that was standing around with their groups in circles. Okay, so as we standing there and we talking, I hear a door open. I look to my right, and that's when Pettis came out. I seen him, I looked at him, and I'm like, what up, though? He's like, what up? But when he seen me, his eyes got big. It's like you look at somebody, you know somebody, you know what I'm saying? So he knew I wasn't from there, how I was dressed. His eyes got big. And my eyes got big, like, damn, nigga, what you doing down here? You know what I'm saying? And then I hit Lomax, and Lomax, look, he like, what up, though? To him. Old boy said, what up? Then he snapped back to it, started like trying to speak Spanish, but trying to hurry up and get to the car and open the car door. The car door was locked. The nigga was nervous and all this. I'm like, man, what's up? You know what I'm saying? I'm talking to him. He moving fast as hell, trying to get in the car. And I looked at him. I said, what's wrong with this dude? I use the N-word. What's wrong with this dude? He's like, I don't know. Swear to God. Lil Max was like, that nigga probably running from over there and over here hiding out. And that found out later that was Pettis. So that's the story. I looked up his house. It was insane. Yeah. You know, so when I said that I seen him, that's how I seen him. And I did, at the time that I seen him, I did not know who he was. I knew he wasn't from over there. I knew he was a brother. You know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking, well, damn, okay, they got another brother down here getting some money. What's up, baby? You know?
Right, like, if anything, like, what's up with the what's up? Shit.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Let's link in.
Right.
And he first like, what's up? Even though he was shocked, like, what's up? Natural response. And then he thought.
Yeah.
And then he started speaking Spanish and shit.
Yeah, he had to
I'm
lock
like, man,
back
come
in.
on,
Like,
man.
hold on.
Yeah, man, come off that, bro. Come off that. Nah.
Right,
And he
nigga.
started,
Yeah, you was like, oh shit. Like, okay, y'all niggas down here too. What's up?
exactly. He was getting into the Lumina. What them old cars, Lumina?
Yeah, Chevy Lumina.
Yeah, Chevy Lumina. He's getting a Chevy Lumina. That motherfucker was it? I can't remember what color was it. Was it green? No, it's a blue. It was like a blue Chevy Lumina he was getting into. That nigga damn near tore the door handles off the damn thing trying to get in there, man. And he couldn't get the door open. He had to run back in the apartment, come back out, and the Mexican broad came out with him, but he kept his head down. We didn't say nothing else to him. Yep. So that's the story. I guess Percy gone. But yo, man, you got something else you want to say? I thought.
Nah.
Okay, man. We put this thing down for y'all, man. We just wanted to tap in on that. I know I ain't been talking about no street shit, and some of y'all been wanting to hear some of it. So I thought this was a good opportunity when Thought shot it to me. And also, I mean, it's just good information to give out that normal people wouldn't know. And the homie Anton tapped in on it. You know, I didn't give pretty much everybody know Anton stuff anyway, but let me show it. You know what I'm saying? That's the homie right there. That's all his information or whatever. Y'all can tap in over there, which he got all the subscribers in the world. I'm the one that ain't got none. And then this right here, his first post, it's like a channel from India or whatever. That was a young lady talking about Sheinbaum and all that. You know, just to get a proper respect to the original content jokers or whatever. I don't know how to put it all in the description or whatever. All this new to me, and most of what I know with this taught it to me. He taught me the other part yet. So that is what it is. But yo, man, listen here. We appreciate y'all. I'm gonna try to hit y'all off with a few more joints this week because I'm about to start another job and they're gonna work the smoke out my ass. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is because right now the best lick is having a job. So that is what it is, you know. And as always, man, you good thought?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Give us some thumbs ups, some
Like and
hearts,
subscribe.
likes,
Share that thing.
all that other good stuff. And we're gonna go ahead and get out your way. And as always, I can never fall short on it. My people, we get next. Deuces.